it's done, I'm not this sad story anymore. So I'm a woman, I have create my life, I'm a lot of other things than just a sad story.
So, hi Maria.
Hi.
So, if you could just start by talking about the hardest thing that you've been through in your life and how you overcame that.
Cool. So my name is Maria, and I have been through a lot of things in my life, such as moving to a new country and not knowing the language. I have been through emotional abuse, and I have been broken heart. However, the thing that definitely got me, it was the day that I realized / told myself that I've been through sexual abuse through the person that I loved the most, which was my uncle, through my whole childhood. It's fair to say I'm still going through the stage, so it's been quite recent. It's been like the last year, less than a year actually. And how I overcame that, definitely sharing. I'm still going through, but I didn't notice more. I talk about it with more people shared. One, I find out that I'm not the only one, and knowing that I'm not by myself helps a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the second thing, more you talk about it, it does get quite raw and it does get quite upsetting, and but more I realised that the story of this little girl that been through sexual abuse, that trusted someone and didn't even know what the heck was there. That little girl, it's done, I'm not this sad story anymore. So I'm a woman, I have create my life, I'm a lot of other things than just a sad story. And I think sharing my story with other people and understanding that they were like, yeah, but you're an amazing friend, you're an amazing co-worker, you are this, you are there, you're fun, you're smart. Notice that I'm actually not the little girl. So instead of waking up in the morning and telling to myself I am the little girl, or that happened to the little girl, I just look at myself and say, actually, I'm a woman, I create my life, and yeah, that sucked what happened, but I'm much more than that, and that's the thing that keeps me going, and every day I wake up and be like, yeah.
Primarily, when everything happened, what kind of emotions did you feel? Was it anger or sadness or frustration or?
It's like when you is someone of your family, which is supposed to protect you and to make you feel safe and special. I found out that I didn't know what love was, because for me that was love. And when I had to tell myself, no, actually, what he did wasn't love, that wasn't love. I found myself in a period that I didn't know what love was, because it's like you got your foundation. I was 8, then I was 9, then I was 10, then I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and I'm only 26. So it's like my biggest foundation was based on something that wasn't real.
And so when you kind of went through the process of dealing with everything, was it easy for you to talk to someone about it, or was that the hardest part, or what would you say maybe was the most difficult thing for you to do in the process?
Definitely verbalized that was sexual abuse. It was a very hard, it was definitely the hardest thing. And kind of after that, when people asked me something, ask me a direct question, I would say, the hardest thing was going through the emotions, because talking to people, and you're talking to your friend, and they love you and they want to protect you, but when you say something like that, they don't know how to react as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I want them to react. And I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what to say. So it was really hard, this communication.
Did you seek out counselling, or did you have to go, and was there someone, you know, close to you that you could talk through it as you kind of dealt with it, or, you know, what was your long-term kind of process?
It was really hard to find counselling, but
Okay.
I did do counselling when I found. There is an organisation specialised in sexual abuse, and they were amazing. But then, again, I talked to a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
in my flat, with all my relationships. I started slowly telling them and having the support of people, you know. If I was having a bad day, they really could get me out of it, or they at least could have me a hug.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's,
Just simple as that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And, you know, if you could give any advice to someone maybe going through the same thing, or feeling confused like this or something, what would you say to them? How would you approach them?
Try to speak up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like the hardest thing you can do. And if you saw me, you know, 5 months ago, I would be in tears now.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I had a lot of panic attacks. I cried a lot. I really had bad days, which I looked in the mirror and I'm like, who are you? You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be living this body. But as I picked up, more talked about people, better has been.
Yeah.
And it was actually, you know, the realization of that was just something that happened, is not who I am.
Yeah. It doesn't define you as a person.
No, it does not define who I am.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for coming here today and talking about that. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.